Picture a shadowy room filled with the rhythmic clatter of typewriters. Men and women intensely focused, their fingers flying across the keys as they race against time to decipher cryptic messages. In the heart of this clandestine operation sits a brilliant mathematician staring intently at a machine that looks like a cross between a typewriter and a clock. This is the story of how one man's quiet brilliance changed the course of history and gave birth to the digital age. But first, let me ask you a question. Can you imagine a world without computers or the internet? It's hard to fathom in today's digital age, isn't it? Well, during World War II, the outcome of the war hung in the balance, and the fate of millions of lives rested on the shoulders of these code breakers. Their task, breaking the infamous Enigma code. Their leader, a man whose name would become synonymous with genius itself, Alan Turing. So what was Enigma, and why was it such a headache for the Allies? Well, Enigma was a cipher machine used by the Germans during World War II. But it wasn't just any ordinary cipher machine. Oh no, it was a technological marvel for its time. You see, Enigma worked by rotating a series of wheels with letters on them, creating a near infinite number of potential combinations. And each day the machine would generate a new code to encrypt and decrypt messages. This meant that if you wanted to send a message to your friend Otto in France, you couldn't just type out "Meet me at the Eiffel Tower at noon." No, you had to use a special code. For example, the rubber duck is very thirsty meant "Meet me at the Eiffel Tower at noon." And without the key to decipher the code, it was nearly impossible to figure out what the message really meant. In fact, the Germans believed that Enigma was unbreakable, which is why they used it to transmit sensitive military information. But little did they know, across the channel in Bletchley Park, England, a team of codebreakers led by the enigmatic Alan Turing was about to turn the tables. But before we dive into the mind of this genius mathematician, I want you to take a moment to appreciate the sheer scale of the challenge they were up against. Think about it. Enigma could generate billions of possible combinations every day, and each combination was unique. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack was constantly shifting and moving around. And to make things even more difficult, the Germans changed the code every single day. This meant that the codebreakers had to start from scratch every morning and race against the clock to crack the code before it was too late. It was an uphill battle, but the Allies needed to win because the stakes were incredibly high. Messages encrypted with Enigma contain information about troop movements, military strategies, and all sorts of other sensitive data. If the Germans knew that the Allies were able to read their messages, they would have changed their methods, which would have made cracking the code even harder. So the pressure was on, and the codebreakers had to come up with a solution fast. This is where Alan Turing's genius truly shines. While others saw an impossible task, Turing saw an opportunity. He realized that the key to cracking Enigma lay in building a machine that could think like a mathematician. You see, Enigma worked by rotating a series of wheels with letters on them, creating a near infinite number of potential combinations. And each day the machine would generate a new code to encrypt and decrypt messages. But what if you could build a machine that could do the same thing? That was the birth of the bomb machine, an early computer that could test thousands of possibilities at lightning speed. With the help of his team, Turing built several versions of the bomb machine, each one more advanced than the last. These machines were the first of their kind, capable of performing complex calculations in a fraction of the time it took a human. And when you think about it, that's pretty mind-blowing. These were the early days of computing, and the bomb machine paved the way for the modern computers we use today. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Back in World War II, the bombs were a top-secret weapon in the fight against the Germans. They were housed in a secret location known as Bletchley Park, and only a select few knew about their existence. The codebreakers would feed the bombs with possible solutions, and watch as it quickly eliminated hundreds of thousands of possibilities. Then when it came up with a potential solution, they would test it out using a smaller machine called a crib. And if it worked, then the code for the day was broken. You might be wondering how long it took to break the code once the bomb machine was used. Well, let me tell you, it was still a time-consuming process. It took hours for the bomb to test the possible solutions, and then even more time to verify the results. But compared to the years it would have taken to do it by hand, it was a quantum leap forward. And now let's talk about the impact of Turing's invention. Historians estimate that Turing's work and that of his team may have shortened the war by 2 years, saving millions of lives in the process. That's right, the quiet work of these codebreakers in Bletchley Park had an impact that echoed around the world. They helped the Allies win the war and bring Nazi Germany to its knees. And that's not all. Turing's methods also helped plant the seeds for the digital age. His work on computers and artificial intelligence laid the foundation for the technological advancements we enjoy today. In fact, many computer scientists consider Turing to be the father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence. So now I want to hear from you. Can you imagine a world without computers or the internet? What would life be like today if Turing and his team hadn't been able to crack the Enigma code? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now it's time for the final part of our story. You see, despite his incredible contributions to science and mathematics, Alan Turing was not a household name during his lifetime. In fact, he was largely forgotten until the 1970s when his work began to be recognized. Sadly, he passed away in 1954 at the age of 41, long before the world knew the extent of his genius. But thankfully, his story has been kept alive by those who knew him and the countless people whose lives he touched through his work. Today, there are memorials and statues dedicated to him around the world, and his image even appears on the British £50 note. Finally, he is getting the recognition he deserves. And let me tell you, it's not too late for you to become a legend in your own right. Just like Alan Turing, you have the power to change the world with your ideas and inventions. All it takes is a bit of imagination, a lot of hard work, and a willingness to push the boundaries of what's possible. So don't be afraid to dream big and go after your goals. Who knows, you might just end up changing the world for the better. Now I want you to close your eyes and imagine a world full of possibilities. A world where anything is possible and where your dreams can take flight. In this world, you are the hero of your own story, and you have the power to shape your future. You can be anything you want to be, achieve anything you set your mind to. The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this glimpse into history's hidden heroes, hit subscribe for more untold stories that shaped our world. Thanks for watching.